I'm in love with my brother. Not even the bond we share can separate us. A story written by Christy Midnight Tales. Bella met Daniel on one of those days the city felt heavier than usual. Lagos was in its usual chaos, cars honking, people shouting, and dust hanging in the air. She had just left a long, draining meeting at work and wanted nothing more than to be alone. Her phone battery was dying, so she stopped by a small cafe near Broad Street to charge and breathe before heading home. Bella picked a seat by the window, plugged in her charger, and ordered a cold drink. She was scrolling through her phone when she saw him walk in. Daniel, he looked a little lost at first, scanning the tables as if he was searching for someone. He wasn't strikingly handsome, but there was something calm about him. When his eyes met hers, he smiled politely, and for some reason, she smiled back. He asked if he could share her table since the cafe was full. She nodded. At first, they sat in silence. Then Daniel made a simple comment about the weather, how unpredictable it had become lately. Bella laughed softly and replied, and from that single moment, the air shifted. They started talking about work stress, Lagos traffic, favorite foods, and even childhood memories. Their words flowed easily, without effort or pretense. When Bella finally checked her phone, an hour had passed. She hadn't even realized it. Before leaving, Daniel asked for her number, not playfully or in a rush, just sincerely. It felt natural to give it. That was how it started. Days turned into weeks of text that stretched till midnight, calls that lasted for hours, and video chats where they would both fall asleep mid-conversation. Everything about him felt familiar. The way he laughed, the softness in his tone, it all stirred something inside her. Sometimes she would catch herself staring at him, wondering why he felt like someone she had known forever. Soon, they became inseparable. He would pick her up from work, or they would meet at that same cafe every Friday evening. Their little ritual. People around them often said they looked alike, the same eyes, same smile, same tiny dimple that showed when they laughed. They would always laugh it off, teasingly calling each other twins. But deep down, Bella felt something she couldn't name. Her heart was at peace with Daniel. One Friday evening, after a long week, Daniel suggested they take a drive. They drove around the city aimlessly, talking about dreams and childhood stories. The conversation turned quiet as they approached the beach. The waves glowed faintly under the streetlights, and Daniel parked the car, stepping out with her. They stood by the shore in silence, listening to the ocean. Then Daniel turned to her and said softly, "I don't know why, but it feels like I've known you all my life." Bella smiled faintly, her heart pounding. "Maybe we were meant to meet," she said. They didn't kiss that night. They just stood there, the wind brushing against them, both pretending that what they felt wasn't deeper than it should be. Later that night, Bella's mother called. They spoke casually until her mother asked if she had met anyone special lately. Bella laughed and told her about Daniel, how kind, gentle, and honest he was. Her mother chuckled lightly and asked, "What's his surname, my dear?" "Okafo," Bella replied, smiling. The other end went quiet for a few seconds. Then her mother laughed, a forced, shaky laugh. "That's nice," she said. "Just be careful with men these days." Her tone was strange, calm, but with something hidden underneath. Bella noticed it, but brushed it off. Her mother was always cautious when it came to men, so she didn't think much of it. 2 months later, Daniel came to visit. Bella was so excited that she spent the whole morning cleaning and cooking. Her mother agreed to meet him finally, even though she didn't sound enthusiastic over the phone. When Daniel arrived, everything felt perfect, until her mother opened the door. The moment she saw him, her entire expression changed. Her smile froze midair. She blinked, like she was trying to make sure her eyes weren't deceiving her. Daniel greeted her respectfully, and she responded with a trembling voice. She offered him a seat, her hand slightly shaking. Throughout the visit, her mother said little. She just watched him, studying his face, his gestures, his voice. Bella found it strange, but she thought maybe her mother was just being her usual protective self. When Daniel left that evening, Bella's mother called her into the room. Her voice was low and uncertain. "Bella, what did you say his mother's name is again?" Bella frowned. "Margaret." "Why? Do you know her?" Her mother didn't answer immediately. She just stared at the wall, lost in thought. The silence stretched so long that Bella grew uneasy. Finally, her mother spoke again, quietly, almost whispering, there's something I need to tell you. But, not tonight. That night, Bella couldn't sleep. Every time she closed her eyes, she remembered the look on her mother's face when she saw Daniel. For the first time since meeting him, love didn't feel peaceful. It felt heavy, and though she didn't know it yet, that night was the beginning of a truth that would shatter everything she thought she knew about love and family. The next morning felt different. Bella woke up early, but the house was silent. Her mother hadn't come out of her room. Normally, she would be in the kitchen humming softly, making breakfast, or praying in her usual tone, but that morning, it was quiet. Bella knocked gently on the door. "Mom, are you okay?" Her mother's voice came out faint. "I'm fine, my dear. I just need to rest." She sounded tired, not physically, but emotionally. Bella wanted to ask more, but something held her back. There was a heaviness in her mother's tone that told her this wasn't the time. The day moved slowly. Bella went to work but couldn't concentrate. Every sound, every message notification made her think of Daniel. When he texted asking if her mom liked him, she didn't know what to reply. She typed, "Of course she did," but deleted it before sending. Something wasn't right, and deep down, she knew it. That evening, when she got home, her mother was sitting on the couch, staring at an old photo album. The sight of it made Bella pause. She hadn't seen that album in years. Her mother rarely opened it. Bella sat quietly beside her. "Mom, you said there's something you wanted to tell me yesterday. What is it?" Her mother hesitated. "Do you remember your father?" The question hit Bella like a wave. She hadn't seen her father since birth, except for photo albums her mother showed her. "Not much," Bella replied quietly. "You never told me what really happened." Her mother sighed deeply and looked away, "Because I didn't want to reopen old wounds. Your father and I, we loved each other once, but things fell apart after you were born. We argued about everything: money, family, and another child. Before we separated, I was pregnant with you, but we were already fighting too much. I moved back to my parents' house to clear my head. When I came back, he was gone. He had taken the baby." Bella froze. "What are you saying, Mom?" "I'm saying your father left with your elder brother," she said, her voice shaking. "Mom, I hope it's not what I'm thinking." "What was Dad's surname?" "Okafor," her mother replied. "Your father's name was Emmanuel Okafor." For a few seconds, Bella didn't understand. Then it hit her, like cold water rushing over her body. "Mom, Daniel's surname is Okafor." "Daniel, the man I've been seeing. His name is Daniel Okafor. His mother's name is Margaret." Her mother's eyes widened in horror. She clutched her chest and stood up abruptly. "Margaret," she whispered. That's your father's sister." Bella didn't need to hear more. Daniel wasn't her soulmate. He was her blood, her lost brother. She didn't know how she got to her room that night. She just remembered the tears, endless, painful tears that came from a place deeper than heartbreak. When Daniel called that night, she couldn't pick up. She let the phone ring again and again, each vibration like a knife to her chest. She wanted to tell him, to hear him prove her mother wrong, but her tears were flowing endlessly. Her heart loved him, but her blood screamed otherwise. Morning came, but the sunlight felt wrong. Too calm for the storm tearing through her heart. She sat on her bed, staring blankly at her phone screen. Daniel's name flashed again, 27 missed calls. She couldn't bring herself to answer any of them. What could she possibly say? "Daniel, we can't be together because you're my brother." Even thinking about it made her feel sick. When she finally dragged herself out of bed, her mother was already dressed, sitting quietly in the living room. Her eyes were swollen from crying, but her expression was firm. "Bella, you need to stay away from him," she said gently. Bella's voice cracked. "Mom, do you know what you're asking me to do? I love him. I can't just..." "You must," her mother interrupted. "This is not something love can fix. It's wrong in every sense, Bella. You both are blood." Bella's tears came before she could stop them. She covered her face, shaking her head. "It's not fair. We didn't know." Her mother's own voice broke. "I know, my child. And that's what hurts me the most." They sat there for a long time, the silence between them heavy enough to break bones. When her mother left for church later that afternoon, Bella sat alone, replaying everything, every conversation, every touch, every smile she had shared with Daniel. That evening, he came. She heard the knock and froze. Her heart skipped. She hadn't told him what she had found out. He didn't know anything. The knocking came again. Softer, Bella, please. I know you're inside. Her knees weakened at the sound of his voice. She opened the door slowly. Daniel stood there, eyes red, looking exhausted. What happened? He asked. Why haven't you been picking my calls? Bella tried to speak, but nothing came out. He reached for her hand, but she pulled away instinctively. His expression changed. Bella, what's wrong? Her throat tightened. Tears gathered again. Daniel, we can't do this anymore. He frowned. What are you talking about? What did I do? Does your mom hate me? Tell me. It's not you, Daniel. It's something else. Something we didn't know. You're my brother. Daniel blinked, as if the words didn't make sense. What? What did you just say? Bella's tears flowed freely. My mom told me everything. About my father, Emmanuel Okoro. He left with a baby when I was still in her stomach. You're that baby, Daniel. You're the son he took. He stood there, frozen. Then he took a small step back, shaking his head slowly. No, that's not possible. My father's name was Emmanuel too, but he died when I was a kid. My mom's name is Margaret. Margaret is your aunt. What? Margaret is my aunt? Our aunt. I can't believe this. So what now? We just stop. Pretend we never met. How am I supposed to do that? Bella covered her mouth, sobbing. You think I know how? Every part of me wants to run to you. But if I do, I'll never forgive myself. Daniel left the house shattered. He cried all his way home, wishing it was all a dream, but it was reality. He didn't ask his Auntie Margaret. He only drank himself to stupor each passing day. Some weeks passed and Bella hadn't spoke to Daniel, not because she hated him, but she was trying to get over the reality that her lover was actually her elder brother. Her mother had tried to move on, pretending her daughter was fine, but she wasn't. Bella had stopped smiling. Her eyes were empty, her laughter gone. The house was too quiet, and every corner reminded her of what used to be. One Sunday evening, her mother sat across from her, watching her push untouched food around her plate. Bella, she said softly, you can't keep living like this. Bella didn't respond. Her mother's heart broke a little more. She had caused this, the hidden past, the secrets she thought would never surface. She was the reason her children were destroyed by a truth they should have known long ago. That night, she picked up her phone and made a call she had been avoiding. She called Daniel. Daniel, please, she said, come home. Let's fix this. We can't let silence bury us. For a long time, he said nothing. Then, quietly, are you sure she wants to see me? Her mother hesitated. She don't know yet, but she needs to. By noon, Daniel's car pulled into the compound. He stepped out slowly, looking older, thinner, like a man carrying the weight of 1,000 regrets. Her mother came out, forcing a weak smile. You're here. That's all I wanted. He got into the house, and without wasting any time, his mother fell to her knees. Daniel, my son, I'm sorry for whatever pain I and your father must have caused you both. We only had a little misunderstanding, and that's what led to your fate and that of your sister. I am your mother, and Cynthia is your sister. Those words broke him more. He said, Mama, stand up, I forgive you and Dad. He hugged her and they all headed to the dining table. Lunch was awkward. 3 plates, 3 people, and 1,000 unsaid words. Her mother still kept talking about forgiveness, how life was too short for bitterness, how they should learn to move on and be siblings again. But how could they? How do you turn off a love that consumed you, a love that felt like air in your lungs? Daniel could barely look at Bella. Bella could barely breathe. When the meal ended, her mother excused herself to rest, praying they would talk. She didn't know that by nightfall, her world would end. At night, Bella sat outside on the veranda. Daniel joined her quietly. Neither spoke for a long time. The air between them was heavy, charged with pain and longing. Finally, Bella said, do you ever wish we didn't know? Daniel's voice broke. Yes, every single day. She nodded, tears burning in her eyes. It hurts to breathe, Daniel. I wake up every morning wishing I could forget. Daniel reached into his pocket and brought out 2 small bottles, filled with a colorless liquid. Bella's eyes widened. What's that? His voice trembled. It's peace. We can't be together here, Bella. Not in this world. But maybe somewhere else, somewhere without rules, without judgment. They went inside quietly. In her old room, the lights were dim, and the air smelled faintly of jasmine, her favorite. Daniel sat on the bed and pulled her close. their tears mingling as they held each other for the last time. "I love you," he whispered. "I love you too," she said, her voice barely audible. They drank the potion, slowly, gently, then they lay down, hand in hand, facing each other. Bella smiled faintly. "Maybe in the next life, we will become real lovers." The night grew quiet. Their breathing slowed, until it stopped. When morning came, the mother woke early, humming softly as she made breakfast, a sound she hadn't made in months. She wanted to believe today would be different. That peace had returned. She went to Bella's door and knocked lightly. No answer. She knocked again, louder this time. Still nothing. Her heart began to pound. She pushed the door open and froze. Her scream echoed through the compound. There they were, her children, lying side by side, their faces calm, their hands locked together. Between them lay a folded piece of paper. Her fingers trembled as she picked it up. "Mama, don't cry. We tried to live with the truth, but it killed us slowly. We can't undo what we felt, and we can't live pretending we're strangers. Forgive us for choosing peace over pain. We remain together, where love isn't a sin." She fell to her knees, shaking, crying, screaming their names. Her voice broke the morning air, but nothing answered. Days later, the funerals were quiet. Only a few relatives came, those who didn't know the full story. Her mother stood between two graves, clutching a handful of soil. She dropped it slowly, whispering, "My children, forgive me." She aged quickly after that. The guilt never left her eyes. Every evening, she would cook for three, set the table, and sit there until night fell, staring at the empty chairs. Sometimes she whispered their names, over and over, as if saying it might bring them back. Sometimes, when couples allow pride and anger to tear them apart, it's the children who suffer the most. What started as a simple misunderstanding between two adults can scatter destinies, break bonds, and create wounds that may never heal. Before you walk away from your home, remember, reconciliation is cheaper than regret. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to drop a beautiful comment and also subscribe to my channel. See you again in my next story.